Well, hi there. So in this video, we're going to do some practice with consumer and producer surplus. Let's get started. So this first problem says Edward goes to the store to buy a shirt, and we're calculating consumer or producer surplus. And he says he's willing to pay up to 10. He picks one out for exactly 10, and then he pays and he learns it's 50% off. So his consumer surplus, because he's the buyer, was $5. Right? He was willing to pay 10. He actually thought he was going to pay 10, but he ultimately only paid 5. So we say his consumer surplus is 10 minus 5. Jasper goes to the store. He wants to buy a used copy of Nirvana's Greatest Hits. Jasper is a cool guy. He's willing to pay up for 10. The store has a copy selling for 10. And so his consumer surplus is 0. Now, that's okay. He's still benefiting, right? In the sense that he valued it at 10 and he paid exactly 10. It's just that those are kind of rare. C, after soccer practice, Bella's willing to pay 2 for a bottle of water. 7-Eleven sells it for $2.25, so she says no. So we would say there is not applicable or none, right? Because she doesn't transact in this. And that is a little different from that first statement, right? Because she really doesn't exist in this market. Jacob says, I want to sell my old Lionel trains on eBay. Minimum price is 75, 5 days of bidding. Final high bid is exactly 75 and he accepts it. So his producer surplus is exactly 0. Rosalie advertises her car for 2, willing to sell it for any price higher than $1,500. She gets an offer for 12 though, and she declines it. So she's not actually transacting. There's no surplus whatsoever. Last, Emmett loves his job so much he's willing to do it for free. So he's willing to supply it for 0. He actually earns 80. So we would say his producer surplus is $80,000. Now let's take a look at number 2. Use the graph to calculate the following: consumer surplus. So consumer surplus is the distance from the price that they paid. That's the 15 up to the 40. And so we'd say 40 minus 15. And then we're going to multiply that height of the triangle times the base, which is 200. And we're going to divide by 2. So 40 minus 15 is 25 times 100 equals 2,500. Producer surplus from 15 down to 2. So we're going to say 15 minus 2. And again, it's going to be 200 divided by 2 because the base of that triangle is 200 divided by 2. And so we'd say 13 times 100 equals 1,300. If supply increased and the price fell to 10, what would happen to consumer surplus? It would increase. We could probably say even exactly how much it would be, right? 210 would be 40 minus 10 times, what are we at now? 300 over 2, divide by 2. And so we've got 30 times, what is this? 30 times 150. And so that's equal to 4,500. If demand increased and price increased to 20, what would happen to producer surplus? And so we would say up here, right, down. So now we've got 20 minus 2, because we're still at the bottom is down here. So it goes over, and then times 300 divide by 2. So that's 18. That's way harder. Times 150. I don't know. I'd have to pull out a calculator for that one, and I don't have mine on me. But 18 times 150 is equal to whatever that is. We know that it's going to increase it. So I'll just say that, and I'll allow you to figure that one out with your calculator. All right. I hope that this helped you understanding consumer and producer surplus. I'll see you next time.